we're getting ready for our episode, and away we go. This is our first time we're going out. I hope you got your passport ready. If you don't have your passport, make sure you pull it out. We're getting ready to go on an adventure. Make sure you get in your car because away we're going. All right. So today I'm so excited to be able to share for just a few minutes with you guys about my passion for traveling. I've been traveling now for over 10 years, and I've had the privilege to be in at least 37 different nations and four different continents. And one of the nations that is very close to my heart is the nation of Poland, where I've had the opportunity to be. Hey, I love the background, Paul. Uh, where I've had the opportunity to be there a number of times. I think like 8 times I've been there, and I just love it. So I got my little cup um, from Polska. This is the emblem or the animal of the country. It's the chicken, and you can see some of the art, and they call it Polska. It's called Poland, but they call it Polska. I don't know why. But anyway, uh, Poland, it's a very interesting country. I remember going to Poland for the very first time in 2013. It was around September. It was the starting of the fall, and it was my very first time in Poland. So I was super excited about landing there. And I remember landing in the airport. I was traveling by myself at that time, and landing into Warsaw. And then in Warsaw, I had to change flights into to the north part that I was going to the city of Gdansk. Now, I'm going to teach you guys a few phrases today, okay? So to say good morning in Polish, because in Poland, they speak Polish. To say good morning in Polish, you say dzień dobry, dzień dobry, dzień dobry, and maybe I'll put some of that language later on. But dzień dobry is how you say good morning, and to say hello, you say "Cześć, cześć." So Polish, it's very close. There are some similarities between Polish and Russian, and also Polish and Ukrainian. So it's like all those three countries are right there. And in just a moment, I'm going to take you on a tour all the way to the city of Gdansk. So I hope you are ready to go. And I have a lot of pictures over there, but I don't want to bore you with all of my pictures. But I remember getting to Poland the first time, like I said, I was telling you a story in 2013, and finally getting into Gdansk after making a switch in Warsaw. Warsaw is the capital of Poland. And I got to the airport. At that time, I was a citizen of Mexico. So I was traveling with my Mexican passport. I was not a U.S. citizen yet. So when I came into the into the country, they held me back, and I was held back in immigration. And the officer was looking at my passport, and he was going back and forth, and then he went and brought somebody else to talk to me. And they said, I said, "Sir, is there a problem? Like, is there a reason why I can't get in?" And they said, "Well, I just we don't see a lot of Mexican passports here, so we just wanted to show it around the office." And that was no problem. They just wanted to show it around. And I remember being in Ukraine one time when the officer said, "Is this a passport?" He looked at a Mexican passport, and he did not like it because it was not. It didn't have the chip. You know, some passports have a specific chip, and the Mexican passport didn't have it. He's like, "This is not a real passport." I said, "It is. It was a real passport." Anyway, and then getting into Poland and experiencing some of the culture there, it was a wonderful, wonderful thing. The first time I went there, I had the opportunity to speak at a university to a university team of young people in the city of Gdansk. The name of the group is called Petra, and they meet or they meet different times a year on Monday nights. And I was a guest to come and speak to the youth in that country, and it was such a great experience because everybody in that place was Polish, and I was the only non-Polish person in that place. Which, by the way, I'm gonna tell you a joke. Are you ready for a Polish joke? Okay, here we go. A Polish joke. This Polish man marries an American lady, and he moves from Poland to Chicago, and everything is wonderful. They're having a good marriage life for a few weeks, but then one day he goes to the bathroom, and then he comes out of the bathroom and he calls 911, and he says, "Sir, I need your help." I said, "What's the emergency?" "I think my wife wants to kill me." I said, "What?" "Yeah, I think my wife wants to kill me." "Why do you think she wants to kill you?" "Because I went to the bathroom, and behind the mirror, I saw this formula that said polish remover. I think she might be trying to poison me." So anyway, that's a joke. That's the kind of part where you laugh. Anyway, you don't have to laugh. Anyway, so the Polish people are very wonderful people. One of the things I admire about the Polish culture is their desire um, for innovation and education. I would say that if there is a religion stronger than Catholicism in Poland, which Poland, a lot of popes have come from Poland. Poland is a Catholic nation, and many John Paul II was Polish, one of the most famous popes of all times, and they have provided a number of Polish people. The largest cathedral of brick in the world is in Poland, and they have provided wonderful, wonderful things. So, are you ready to go with me? I'm going to take you now on a virtual tour to the city of Gdansk. All right. So I'm gonna be sharing my screen with you, and we are going to this wonderful city that I have had the privilege to visit many times. Now there are three different cities there that I hope you can see me. If you can see me, please send me a message. So right here, this is the earth where you and I live. And I'm going to take you. This is where we are right now, around right here, Columbus, Ohio. There you are. Would you please wave at the camera and say hello? There we are. This is our city. And now we are going to zoom out of the world, buckle up, get your passport ready, and get ready to travel with me as we are going to Gdansk, Poland. There we go, all the way over there. Right now in Gdansk, we are um, 6 hours behind them. So for them, it is 5:42 in the afternoon. And this is the city of Gdansk, as you can see it on your screen. I want to show you where it is located. This is in the Gulf of Gdansk, but this is the Black Sea. All that area on the north is the Black Sea. I want to show you the countries that are connected to Poland. Poland is, like I said, beautiful, beautiful country. So on the left side, on the west side of Poland, we have Germany, we have Czech Republic, we have on the south of Poland, we have Slovakia. Now in this area, I don't know if you can see it or not, but in this area at the bottom, where you say Krakow, those are where the mountains are. So this is all mountainous. I've had the privilege to drive through Poland all the way from Berlin. From Berlin is somewhere around here. There is Berlin all the way and drive all this road out to Gdansk. And then from Gdansk, I drove all the way down to Prague and cross driving all of that section. And in the south part of Poland, you get all of the mountains, you get all of the beautiful parts. In the north part, like again, this is the Baltic, the famous Baltic Sea, and we are going to go today to this city of Gdansk. But before we get there, I want to show you this peninsula. Up here, you see the peninsula of hell. So, guys, I need to admit to you, I have been to hell and back. Um, and I was able to make it to hell and back in just a few minutes. I think there's somebody else trying to join. Um, so anyway, when you go to Poland, you can go to Poland to hell and back in one day. Actually, it's a peninsula there in the Gdansk Gulf, and you can see there. I need to make one of you guys a co-host, so I'm gonna make uh, Paul a co-host with me, so that you can join me with me. Okay, let's go back to the map. I want to show you some things about it, um, and we have some people waiting on the waiting room. Let me make sure everybody's in. All right, so Robert, you can have it from now on. Anybody that wants to join in, you can let them in. So we're going back. Oh, I need to share the screen. So we're going back to Europe. Are you ready to go back to Europe? Yes, two people. Wonderful. All right, let's go back to Europe. And we are right here in the north part of Gdansk. There are three cities basically that connect in this part, which is Gdansk, Sopot, and Gdynia. Now, the city of Sopot right now is one of the hottest spots for young people to build houses. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And then Gdynia. Gdynia is also a very wonderful city. And here is the peninsula of Hell, like I said. I have some pictures on Instagram. By the way, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can go to Danos Vasquez uh, at Instagram, and you can find me there, and also on Facebook, and you can see some of this picture. So we were looking at the countries on the side. At the bottom, we have Czech Republic, Slovakia. We have Ukraine on the east side, Belarus. We have Lithuania, and this country right here that you see this portion, this is actually Russia. It's a portion of Russia that is not connected to the mainline Russia. So of course, Russia is a huge nation, and they also own this part. And actually, I want to give a special shout out to one of our staff members from CLC, Tanya Bogdanova, because she is actually from this part of from Russia, from Kaliningrad. Kaliningrad. It's about, I don't know, maybe 3 hours, if I remember correctly, Tanya, from Russia to Poland. But anyway, let's go into the city of Gdansk now, and I want to show you some of the most beautiful architecture I have seen in all of Europe. So we're looking right here. This is the old city of Gdansk. As you can tell, the city of Gdansk has the water from the Gulf coming in into these areas, and here is the famous uh, building that you see in most of the pictures of Gdansk. Here's another picture of that building. You see how this black building is? Okay, so we're looking at 3D of the city of Gdansk. Now, this city has changed the world at least three different times in the history of our world. This is the city where Copernicus was born. Actually, if you can see right here in the corner, I think Copernicus' house, it's right here. It's on this street, if I remember correctly, uh, or is it in this street? And you see Copernicus' house, where this is the man that discovered, well, he didn't discover, he just made it public, that the earth was round. This is also the place where World War I started and World War II, very historic places. Do you remember that famous picture? Well, I'll show you that in a little bit. But I want to talk to you about this building right here. This is a building where the ships would come in, and this little thing you see up here is what turns the ships around. So when a ship would come and bring the merchandise in, then the ships will go in, stop right here. And if you can see the top of this building, this little thing we're looking at in the screen is what actually will pick up the ship and turn it around. As you can tell, there is not a whole lot of space for ships to turn around because these are more canals. So there is no way, there is no manner to turn unless you can pick them up. And it also they also use lifts from this building to remove the things from the ships into the city. As you can tell, most of the cities are the streets are like most in Europe are together. And here is another beautiful building right here. Let's look at this at the Galleria. I have walked through there, and actually, very famous, important things in history has happened in this building. Now, these are not my pictures. I'll show some of my pictures later on Instagram, but you can appreciate the attention to detail that the Polish people has as far as architecture. So I want to walk you down these streets of downtown Gdansk. This is the old city of Gdansk, and all of this is beautiful in the summer because there is food. Here is the cathedral, and you can look at some of the clocks from the ancient times. But one thing that was super cool, I remember walking through these streets the first time, And one of the things that was super, super cool was right here at the entrance. Now, if you can tell, now it's not there anymore, but the cities in the old times were built with walls around it. So the city of Gdansk was also built in the wall around it. We're looking at all the places that was walled around it. And there was the entrance to the city. And this was the entrance to the city, but this is the king's entrance. If you can look at right here, this is the king's entrance. So this is where the king will go in. Now, in some of the films and uh, pictures that we see from World War II, this is where the famous entrance of Hitler, where you see the famous flags, Nazi flags hanging from the building, and Hitler coming in, and hundreds of people doing the salutation to him through the streets. This is the street where this happened. This is the streets where Hitler walked by, and the picture doesn't show it, but you see the Nazi soldiers with guns behind the Polish people were pointing at them for anybody who would not do the Nazi greeting was shot. There is a lot of blood that has run through these streets, and but this is a very, very famous picture in history. And as we're walking through the streets, you can appreciate the homes and like I said, the architecture. Most buildings are 3 to 4 stories high, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful place to to see. Where I spoke to the university students, it was actually just right here in this building, this white building right here. This is where I did my talk to the university students, and it's amazing that I can go here. You can walk through here and you see the railroads. Poland has wonderful structure as far as roads and trains and subways. Well, there very few subways. They're mostly above ground. But this is the city that you can see. Now, here is the stadium for those of you that like sports. Um, and I want to show you guys, this is the new stadium, the station of Gdansk. And like I said, these 3 cities are connected. The next city that we see on the left is the city of Sopot. I visited this city. Actually, one of my is like a brother to me, an older brother, Joshua Cagle, lives in this city of Sopot, and this is the marine. Let me show you some pictures from here. It's a beautiful port. Now, in the summer, there's a lot of people that like to go here and swim, and there is not a lot of waves, but the water in the ocean is nice, and there's wonderful restaurants. Some of the best fried fish I have ever eaten was right here in the port of Sopot. Um, okay, this building right here, this is where Adolf Hitler also stayed when he came to the city of Gdansk, and this is a famous hotel, the Sheraton Hotel, and this is where um, also Adolf Hitler stayed there when he was taking over Poland. Um, like the real estate, I don't know if you ever watched the show House Hunters International. They actually have an episode where somebody was buying a house right here in Sopot. Like I said, this is a very hot spot for young people. There's a lot of parks. There's a lot of places. This is a restaurant that I ate at. Is so wonderful. And again, this is at the Baltic Sea, and the Baltic Sea connects you on the north with um, Switzerland. I'm sorry, with Sweden. This is Sweden up here, and Norway. I'm gonna do an episode later on Norway, where my good friends is way up here in Norway. So anyway, let's go back to Gdansk, and then I want to take you to the port of Gdynia, the city of Gdynia. The city of Gdynia is also a growing city. It's about only 25-30 minutes drive from Gdansk, and you can see all of the infrastructure there. And there is a school here in Gdynia where I have the privilege to come and give lessons every semester. There is a famous building here in Gdynia. Let me show you some of the things, some of the pictures from the museum in Gdynia. This is what the what the city looks like. We have cruises. This is actually a Mexican cruise, Mexican crew right there. Um, and of course, since these are port cities, they are very important cities for the economy, for fishing, and that helps the city of Gdansk. Now, in the downtown Gdynia, there is a really cool city. It's world famous. Let me see. The building, I believe, is somewhere around here. Let me see if I can get you to that. Isn't it wonderful, the technology that we have, that we can travel all the way to Poland today from our house? Now, here is one thing that you will notice in a lot of parts of Poland, and not only Poland, but also in most of Europe, some parts of Western and Eastern Europe, is the number of apartments. Most people, I would say 70, 60% of the people live in apartments. So this is where a house would be, these apartments. And during the time of communism, the Communist Party painted all of these buildings. They were not allowed to have colorful colors on their buildings. So now we see colors when we look at these buildings, but before they were all colored gray. And as you drive through some of these buildings, you can still to this day see the bullets from the war. The city of Gdansk that we visited a minute ago, the city of Gdansk was flattened during World War One, and it was destroyed. One of the things I appreciate from the people of Poland is that the people of Poland are a fighting people. The nation was completely divided, and the city was flattened. Many cities were flattened. The people were taken to both different places. They were the whole nation during the World War was that it was divided by two countries, basically Russia and Germany. So the Polish people had to learn those two languages in order to survive. And after the war, the Polish people got together and they were able to rebuild and put the nation back together, which is an incredible thing for the people to be able to do that. I want to show you the building I was telling you about. I think it's in this street. Oh, this is a beautiful cathedral right here. And let's go through the streets of Gdynia. I hope I'm not making you dizzy. If I am, please let me know, let Robert know. But as you can see, the houses, and here is that building. I want you to look at the architecture of this building. Let me show you the pictures. This is that famous twisted building. Now, in Poland, of course, the language is Polish, but a lot of Polish people, especially young people, here's another view of the building. You can tell that was creative architecture. Let me show you a few more pictures of this building from the streets. I've actually been there and taken quite a few pictures there. Anyway, let me go back with you and see how you were, see how you're doing. I want to show you guys some of the currency from Poland. So the Polish uses their currency is called zlotys. So these are 100 zlotys, the Polish. Here is a 50, what a 50 looks like. Right? Here is a 10. A $10. I keep them because I'm planning to go back, maybe in the fall, if we get the permission. Actually, this little fellow right here, he lives in he used to live in a castle. I'll show you guys the castle in just a moment. And this is 20 zlotys. Now, how much is the comparison to US? For $1 US, you get 4 zlotys and 20 cents. For $1 US, you get 4 zlotys and 20 cents. Now, even though they are not part of the European, well, they are part of the European Union and they're part of the Schengen states, but they keep their own currency. So Poland is one of the countries in Europe where you can keep your own money. Countries like France, Germany, they have used the euro, but Poland has kept their own money, and the economy is, I would say, it's good. It's getting better, um, and you can have a good meal. So right here, if this is 20 zloty, this is about $5, and 100 zloty, you divide that by 4. How much would that be? Anybody good at math? 25. Thank you, Diego. That's right. So this is some of the things that you have. Now, do you need a visa to go to Poland? You don't need a visa to go to Poland. Um, you can get in Poland if you have a U.S. passport, or if your country allows you to go. If you have a other than U.S. passport, if your country allows you to go into the European nations, you do not need a passport to go into Poland. You can go to Poland on your own. Now, Poland has 3 airlines. They have the Polish airlines called LOT, L-O-T. They have Ryanair, which is actually an Irish airline, but flies into Gdansk, into Warsaw. And you have Wizz Air. Wizz Air is a pink airline. I've flown in all of them, and those are wonderful. The cheapest one of all, by far, is Ryanair. But I must warn you, Ryanair is basically a school bus with wings. It's one of the funniest airlines I've ever flown into, and one of the cheapest. I was able to fly one time from Dublin, Ireland, into Gdansk for €9. You heard me right, €9. You can fly with Ryanair, and they have now. The thing is, Ryanair does not fly every day. They fly like 3 or 4 times a week. So you want to look at your calendar. You want to look at what days are there so that you can get the base prices. If you log in into their email, you can get some discounts, or you can get some offers, and you can purchase your ticket. But you can fly quite cheap. Now you can get also a train. If you go into Warsaw and you want to go to the north, you can get on the train. There are many trains in Poland, and they are very, very comfortable, very, very clean. Poland is a very, very conscious about the health and the cleaning the city. So it's a very clean city, very wonderful people. It's easy to move in the country. You can travel by car, you can travel by airplanes, you can travel by trains, you can travel by donkeys. No, I don't know about donkeys, but I'm sure you can do that. So I want to give you guys some time, and I want to let you guys ask some questions. If you have any questions, I can answer some of the questions about Poland. You can unmute yourself. I'm going to unmute everybody, or you can unmute yourself or raise your hand and let us know if you have any questions about Poland.
So then, do you speak Polish in Poland, or you speak English there?
Tak, 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 tak. Tak means yes. No, I'm just kidding. Nie means no. No, I don't speak fluent Polish. I understand it more and more. I'm learning phrases like dzień dobry, dziękuję, cześć, things like that. But I normally have translators. And I was hoping my friend Oleg from Poland would come in, but he's right now taking his driver's license test. As you know, in Europe, it's very difficult to get a driver's license. It takes you about a year of practice and things like that to get to get through the school and all of that. So it's quite it's not as easy as in the U.S. But no, I have a translator. His name is Oleg. He's 25 years old, and he's a great help every time I go there. He's the one that is normally with me when I go there, and then we move around. His English is great, and a lot of, I would say, anybody 25 and under are very fluent in English, very, very fluent in English.
Yeah. Dan, I have a question.
Sure.
Have you tried any of their native cuisines and what it is?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I've tried a lot of things. Of course, they have sausage and the cheese varieties. I think there's over 100 different types of cheese. I remember going to a store and there were so many cheese. I don't even know what they were. But okay, the pictures are not going to come out okay. But let me show you some of the cuisine. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit sideways. Hopefully, it's not sideways for you. But let me share my screen, and I'll show you some of the cuisine from Poland. I'm gonna go right into my Instagram. It's gonna be, like I said, twisted, and these are some of my travelings. But let me see if I see any pictures from Poland. I'll let you know. Okay, that's Ukraine. That's Israel.
Have you
That's
tried pierogi?
yes, pierogi. Yes, I've had it. It's very, very good. Here's a picture of the buildings. Can you see it? It's upside down. I don't know if it's upside down on your screen as well.
No.
But let me.
No.
Was it clear? Could you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm sorry. I have a lot of pictures, and I didn't want to share from my album of pictures because okay, here's that building I showed you a little bit ago. The twisted building.
Yeah.
Here's that building. I'm with Josue, another one of the students of the university there. Um, I'm getting there. I want to show you this soup that was just unreal. Okay, here is the port of Gdansk. This is Sopot, the port. This is the port that I was showing you a little bit ago. There's the Baltic. That's the building where Hitler um, stayed while he was there in Poland. And here's the again that famous um, ship building helper. And here's some ice cream from Poland. Maybe Tanya, do they have the same in Russia?
We have the same kind of waffle around, but inside it's kind of a cream, or inside it's a dulce de leche.
Yeah,
But
I love
I've
it.
never
Okay,
seen it like as ice cream.
here is some of the
Oh,
dishes. Here's one. Here's another one. Pickles are used, vegetables, and this is a potato soup with
yeah.
different kind of vegetables, and they put it on this bread, and it's very, very filling. Once you eat one, you're probably good for the whole day.
Can I ask you a question? Have you eaten the soup cup with the bread?
The soup
Or,
cup with the
or
bread.
no, I mean, did you eat the whole cup? Because they use for the cup, they use the bread, right?
Oh, I only ate the top. I did not
Okay.
finish the all around because this is huge. Like I
Yeah.
said, this thing is humongous. So you eat one, you're good for the whole day. You don't need to eat anymore.
Yeah,
So it would have been too much.
that's true.
This is one of the local restaurants there in Gdynia. You can see right here where Poland is on the north, and that's some other places. Oh, here's the name of the restaurant. Karzymia Polska Zagroda. So every time I go to Poland, my guests love to take me there, and I eat there uh, every time I go there. Here's another view from the streets of Poland. Here's a picture of the flag. That's what the flag looks like. And here's one of the boats from the history of Poland. You can look at the buildings. This is also in the city of Gdansk. How a lot of European combine mud and wood together to make the structures of the buildings, and it's quite beautiful and quite warm also in the winter. The winters there are brutal. They are very, very cold. Well, they share a lot of the weather like what we share. This is Copernicus house, and you can go into that house. It's a museum now, and you can actually see his own instruments and his books and his studies, and how he came with the theory that the world was round. There's another picture of the port in the Baltic Sea. So let me go back here with you, and anyway, hopefully that gives you
Can
some
I have
insight.
another question?
Yeah, sure, of course.
What do you think the main thing you find different Americans, because we are from different continents, right?
Yes.
What do you think the main, like for you, main difference? Like what's why it would be, for example, hard to understand each other, or we need more time to get along with each other?
As far as the Polish and the American people, okay. So here's the thing: to understand a Polish person, you have to understand culture. You are in a part of the world where history never dies. In America, our history is 100 years old, not very old. In Europe, you have history that is thousands of years old. One of the things about the Polish culture is that this is a post-war country. They have lived through war, and it's not very long ago. I mean, we're talking about the 1940s. We're talking about 70, not even 100 years ago, 70 years ago, and 80 years ago. And they never forget this. They grew up with the sentiments, they grew up with the knowledge of this. So, in a sense, the Polish people are very protective about their own. And at the beginning, it's not easy to get into the culture and be 100% fully accepted. In America, we are used to being accepted generally by everybody. We're used to be able to share our opinions with everybody. With a Polish person, is going to take a little more. You have to earn trust. Trust in Poland is not automatically given, it has to be earned. So you have to earn the friendship, the trust, and once you get trust, because you have to understand, during the war, people that they thought were their friends were actually spies. Were actually people telling on them, telling who was the dad, who was the children, what time they went to work, how much money they made. So when they took over the nation and they lost their homes and everything, they thought their friends were betrayed. So it's not as easy for a Polish person to get as open as in America would, because of the history and the things that they have lived and understanding this. Now, Poland is famous for the camps, Nazi camps. Actually, I was in Poland in February this year, and I was able to visit a concentration camp where I think in this particular camp, over 40,000 people were killed by the Nazis. And a lot of them were Polish people. So, when you go to these camps, it's not a laughing matter. I remember walking through there and looking at this, and a lot of questions, because I didn't grow up with this history. So all of this I had to learn, I had to study, I had to find out why, and asking questions. Why do they do this? Why are they like this? And then realizing, wow, understanding history is a key element to understanding a culture. And what really got me was not the places where they slept or where they ate or the work that they did, but actually I was able to look at some of the bones that are still there, bones of people that were burned. And when you see that, I mean, I saw the shoes, and the shoes get you, but the bones, that really, really, sobers you up really quick, because you see this was no joke. People died, and it was a very, very terrible part of history. And that's something that a Polish person might not be very open to talk to you right away. So if you ever go there, don't start talking about, take me to a concentration camp. Don't. You have to be very subtle and be wise. And if they want to share with you, that's fine. But I have met people, um, that live through that, and they actually, um, you know, have relatives. Their grandparents died during that time, and they lost friends and different people. Um, I heard an interesting story. One of the men that I met in my trip in February, where his grandpa was taken from his. He was from the southern part of Poland, and he was taken over to Germany after the war. He comes back to Poland, but he didn't go back because he heard that all of his family were killed during the war. So he never made an attempt until one day, 50 years later, he decided to go back and just to look at the house to see what was left over. And then when he went back, he discovered that not all of his family was killed, and some of his relatives, cousins, and uncles were still alive. And he was able to reconnect with them after 50 years. And you can only imagine the emotion. I mean, he was in tears when he's telling me this story. And when you hear the stories, I mean, it's just incredible. So when you visit a country, it's not only seeing sights, not only sightseeing, but to get immersed into the culture. It's getting to know the people. And I can tell you, the Polish people are fighting people. They're people that don't forget history too fast, and there are people that have a great desire to succeed. So I'm so happy I was able to share a little bit about Poland today. So let me hear from you guys. Any other questions you guys may have, or anything you wanna know? I don't know at all, but maybe one or two things. Paul.
So, if I'm short on time,
Uh-huh.
what is the one place that someone cannot miss when they visit Poland?
Well, if you're short on time, you want to go to Warsaw, which is the capital, and that's where
Warsaw.
you will see the top. But again, like I'd say, if you're into architecture and you want to see architecture, Gdansk is probably the most beautiful city. Krakow is also beautiful on the south. I mean, the architecture is beautiful. But if you're into nature, now, two types of nature. If you want the beach and the ocean, you go to the north. If you want to see mountains, if you want to see beautiful mountains, then you go to the south of Poland with the border with Czech Republic.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. But again, the size of Poland, I think, is slightly smaller than Texas. It might be as big as Texas. I'm not sure. But you can cross the whole country. I think it took me driving from the north to the south. I think there was a total of 10, 11 hours driving from north to south. Um, so, and in the train, some of the trains are really fast. Some of the more luxurious trains are a little bit slower. So you can choose. Yeah.
There is a Polish cafe right at North Market. So if you want to get some
Oh,
Polish
yes.
culture, go
Yes.
to after all this, go to North
Yes.
Market and try some of
In
the
the North
cuisine.
Market here in Columbus, Ohio, there is a
Yeah.
Polish stand right in the North Market, and you can try. And I've tried that food, and it tastes pretty close, very,
Yeah,
very
and
close.
the man over there, he's very he likes introduce you to the history and culture of his hometown, and I think his hometown is very close to Gdansk, somewhere around the Gdansk. So it's the same kind of side of part of Poland he is from.
Here are some interesting facts, guys. As far as the movies that we watch, and sometimes they put sorry, Tanya, but they put the Russians as the bad guys, and sometimes in the movies they'll start speaking Russian, and in a lot of movies they're actually not speaking Russian; they're speaking Polish. But we Westerns don't know the difference. But my Polish friends say that's not Russian, that's Polish. So that's interesting to know as well. The Polish language is one of the most difficult language to learn because every word is conjugated into 9 different ways. I think in English we have 6 ways, right? In which we can conjugate. Normally we do it in 3 past, present tense, but in Polish, you can make a word, make it a male or a female, make it plural or singular, or you can conjugate it into 9 different ways. So it's really, really incredible. One of the most difficult languages to learn. And maybe I'll show you. I feel like I might have to do another section on Poland where I show you videos, and we can actually talk to somebody in Poland, and I can show you some of my own pictures of some of their in the city of Gdansk. There is a mountain. You can go on top of the mountain, and you can overlook at the city, and then you can overlook at the ocean, and it's a beautiful, beautiful view, and a lot of good stores, and they have malls just like we do in America, and they have Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they have Pizza Hut, so you can eat some of that too if you're not adventurous with the food that you have.
One of my memory from childhood is that the first McDonald's we had in Kaliningrad, it was built like in 2010, I think. So, and to try some McDonald's, we actually traveled to Poland from my hometown.
Yes.
So,
and the McDonald's in Poland are not like the McDonald's in America.
yeah,
They're 10 times better. I mean, they're luxurious. You have leather couches, real wood on the walls. I mean, it looks like a fancy cafe, like you're in Easton here in Columbus. I mean, the McDonald's are luxury. So
thank you so much. It was very interesting.
oh, you're very welcome. I want to thank you guys for joining us today. We are running out of time. Unless there's anybody else who has a question or any suggestions of what you would like to see in this show.
Okay, I want to say I'm so happy to hear you. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about the travel. I know you know a lot of places around the world. And only tell you thank you so much for sharing with us your travels,
Thank
your
you.
trips around the world, and tell you little piece that experience of McDonald's in Latin America.
Okay.
Everybody have to know in Latin America, when you see a McDonald's stores, is like a luxury. The people that are going to McDonald's feel like a VIP, very
Yeah.
important people.
You gotta dress up.
Yes, it's very expensive. You have to eat more cheaper around the McDonald's. But if you going to McDonald's, you are a VIP person.
Yeah.
Yes, Paul. Yes, you have to know that.
Here's an interesting fact. McDonald's is not in all the world like Coke is, Coca-Cola is. But there are some countries. There is a country in Western Europe that does not have McDonald's. I've been to that country. That's Iceland. Also, there is no McDonald's in St. Kitts in the Caribbean. And in Israel, the McDonald's are not called McDonald's. They're called McDavid's. McDavid's. And if you go to Israel and you see that, you'll see the difference there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dan. I'm enjoying your program. Thank you.
Oh,
so
thank you.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for joining. So,
And yeah, excuse me, may I have another
Jen.
question? Yeah,
sure, yes.
what kind of industry or what kind of work is a major work? Yeah, major, yeah, there people
Well,
what do they do?
what the Polish in the north part where I go, it's they do a lot of fishing from the Baltic, but there are also a lot of companies now. Polish, especially young people, Polish are now getting more jobs into offices, into technology. Now, I will tell you this as far as the Polish culture, their music is one of the most amazing music I have heard all over the world. They really take pride as being excellent at music. So musicians speaking, oh, it's incredible. So the Polish people like education a lot. So I would say a large percentage of them are not only high school graduate, but college graduates. So they do a lot of office work in companies, and now they're working with other countries. As you can know, Europe is very connected with other nations as well. So that's how they make their money, and they are doing a push to get united to the European Union.
So if you want to,
we have to know the Frederick Chopin is born in Poland.
Yeah.
I love Chopin.
Yeah.
He born in Poland.
So there's a lot of famous. There are some famous actor and actresses that you would
Yeah.
be surprised, that they're Polish.
So if you go to concert, the ticket is cheap, or because probably most of people can appreciate music, right? They just
Yes.
are born naturally with music.
Yes. I have not been to a concert there in Poland. I have heard them in different venues, events that they didn't cost me, but I'm sure it cost other people. But I would say maybe 30 euros or maybe $30 would be an average cost of one of those events. But yeah, they're very, very good musicians.
Mm. Thank you.
There are 38 million people in the country of Poland. 38 million people. About the same number of people that live in the whole state of California. It's about the same number of people that live in the whole country of Poland.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Thanks.
You're very welcome. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us today. And away we go. And we are looking forward for next week. And I'll be taking you to some other nation around the world. Now, if you would like to highlight your country, your nation, you can send me a message on WhatsApp or through any of the social medias where we're sharing, and maybe we can highlight as well, do a tour of your nation. So again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us today, and away we go. I'll see you later. Thank you so much.
Thank you.